welcome back to this. I'm not even gonna check if it's recorded because that's what's messing it up every damn time. So we're just gonna get right into it. Just finished our last, our first, sword training. Sword training, really. With Claude, aka Karma. I don't even remember his full name. It's some complicated thing. I'm sitting here eating chocolate now. Instead of drinking something. I'm gonna eat chocolate instead. Probably should drink something. But I will not drink Coke. Okay. I'm so insecure that I'm feeling like it's not recording right now, but I'm terrified to actually check. I'm gonna do it. It's recording. Okay. Yep, mine was working. Alright. You have to be lightning fast, I guess. That's the trick. Okay. When I returned to the market later that night, my hands are scratched, and I think I might have bruises on my arms. Claude was not joking when he said he would not go easy on me. But he did compliment me more than once. Kuma, I've hit you quite a few times, and you haven't uttered a single complaint. Impressive. Crying is for the weak. Sleeping is for the weak. Though everyone should be sleeping, I notice that the light is still on at the tavern. I see Jurian and Garland up at a table speaking with each other and laughing. If Claude had come back with me, he would be happy to see this. You two are still up? They're not even surprised when they turn to face me. Good days like this are even better when stretched. I haven't been off duty in a long time. Did you both have a good time tonight? It was great. Garland knows these little places in the town I've never even heard of before. I noticed that Jurian is more than energetic than usual. Her smile a little wider than normal. I wonder if she's drunk. I'm going to get another drink. Another drink? Garland leans in towards me, his voice hushed. We already bought a replacement bottle when we were out today. We'd never take anything from the market without money. Right. Is Jurian drunk? Oh no, Princess. Tipsy. It's like a buzz fades a lot quicker. Oh. Garland and I watch Jurian as she refills her glass at the bar. I have to thank you, Princess. I would never have asked her out if you and Karma hadn't insisted on it. So you told her? Garland looks at me with a pleased smile. I'll take that as a yes. She didn't really realize until much later. I just asked her out for food and she thought that's all it was. Maybe Jurian really did need to be told bluntly. What happened? I told her, and we talked and remembered old times. He sounds like an old man. And I held her hand. He's so mushy, so cute. He looks like a little puppy. I noticed Garland flinch ever so slightly, but he's smiling. He looks pleased with himself. The night's not over yet, so he trails off with a hopeful smile before he raises up. It was like a slight undertone of like I thought that's what he was talking about, and then he had to do the eyebrow things, and that only confirmed it. What about you and Karma? What about us? I've asked him to train me. Train? Prince, if you asked him to teach you how to use a sword? What's this? Our princess is going to pick up a sword. Jurian returns to the table, but I'm too tired to properly join the conversation. I should leave them to their conversation and head to bed. I need to get some rest if I want to start practicing at night. Excuse myself to head upstairs. And it's day. Oh, uh-oh. Que pasa? I'm startled awake by an excruciatingly bright light. It's momentary, and when it's over, I'm sitting in my bed, dazed and confused. My eyes burn. My hand flies to the pendant around my neck, where I see the second glass slipper with another piece. What? Wait. What? There's another piece? But when did I do another good deed? Eh? Nani? Okay. What? Another piece of chocolate goes in my mouth. Alright. I grasp a necklace tightly in my hand, like it should not be reading with my mouth full. It's just a Hershey Kiss, Shouldn't have eaten the chocolate. Should have waited when there was a long pause. So therefore I can eat the chocolate. And then there will be A very literal long pause. Okay. I grasp a necklace tightly in my hands as I make my way to the tavern. Everyone is doing their pre-morning chores when I get to the tavern area. I notice Karma glaring off into space and then not far from the two knights. They haven't been up all night, have they? I make my way slowly over to them. Even back then you were like some kind of shadow, weren't you? You don't have to hide it. It was obvious you were tailing me back then. It was only because I was worried about you. I realized you really didn't have to follow me, Lan. But I'm glad you did. Oh, pet names. Lan. Jurian. Oh, shush. Fritz used to call you that too. Lan is Garland's childhood nickname. He still gets embarrassed when I call him that. I see. So what are you two talking about? Oh, we were just reminiscing. I look at the two of them critically for a few moments, waiting for them to say something. They both exchange a glance before looking at me confused. Well? Well, what? How did your date go last night? Carly makes a sound and turns beet red. Jurian's eyebrows quirk, and then she laughs. Oh, that. It went well. So well, in fact, that you can see the two of us are still very much enjoying each other's company. Jurian is usually busy taking her rounds the market with a scowl on her face. She looks happier being here with Garland, more relaxed. Might even say that we're dating. He's all blushy. Isn't it funny how red he gets, Princess? I'm laughing. Of course it's funny. You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... One more word, Lan, and I swear I'll punch you. The two of them are blushing now, and the scene is oddly comical. Who knew that the two great knights of the Order of Caldria could be so easily undone? Both of you are amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remembered that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact that they all served the king. I'd always thought Jurian and Garland were stoic and honorable, that their only reason for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here, though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. I'm sorry, I had to pause there because I could not figure out what this freaking thing on the sea was. And I was like, is that on my screen? It's not, it's part of the sea, I don't know what it is. Probably from some other language and mistype. My curiosity is piqued. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Oh, my father was a knight. He put his life on the line for this kingdom. Jurian's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had the medals to back it up. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurian's face, it is clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. I'd always got annoyed when I called him my brother. Now I know why. Jurian wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because he wanted to watch over me. I never knew you'd blush so easily, Garland. Garland seems to blush even harder at that, and Jurian's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement beginning to bubble up as I watch the two of them. But a cold voice cuts through the laughter, and the atmosphere like a hot blade through the ice. Could you keep it down over there? I turn and see that Claude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, we're sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma, I got another piece to my necklace, another good deed. Claude turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. His voice is calm but flat and lacks any enthusiasm. That felt lackluster and oddly disappointing. A good deed? Congratulations, Princess. You're closer to breaking your curse. What did you get that good deed for? I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it was for helping Lan confess. I hear you and Karma went out of your way to help make it happen. That happened yesterday, though. Maybe the magic was waiting to see what became of Garland and I. Claude mistakes the dismissive hand gesture from his table, frowning. If you two insist on being so affectionate, you should get a room. Affectionate? Jurian's smile has faded away into a dangerous scowl. Where Garland looks confused, Jurian looks notably irritated. The shadow is still there on his face. Claude does not look okay at all. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Are you... Like, I understand. I don't like PDA either, but are you kidding me? It doesn't matter if something's bothering him. It's not like him to be so rude. Irritation is no excuse for rudeness. Fine, I apologize. Happy? He looks at me for a few moments, his expression twisted in a defiant scowl. It doesn't hold long. Moments later, his expression softens and looks away, almost in shame. I'm sorry. His apology sounds real. But still, why do I feel so disappointed? Silence descends for a few moments before Claude abruptly stands up from his table. Excuse me. Claude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two knights. I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been running him too thin because of practice? I do not think it's you two. I get the feeling that Claude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange, distant. And recently, he's getting more and more moody. Princess. I look over at Niece, who's smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom is getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my minds on things. The rest of the day goes by slowly. I'm stuck cleaning most of the day and then serving later. At one point, I speak with Delora about the knights that had attempted to kidnap me. She tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. Still do not understand what their suspicions are, when Sir Alcaster cannot possibly know who I am. And obviously, because the main character said that, it is most definitely possible, and it is most likely, absolutely positively, the real reason why this shit is going down. Anyways, my hands are sore by the end of the night, but I still feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless too. Garland eventually leaves for patrol, while Jurian remains at the table, looking deep in thought. Did not want to bother her, so I decided to try and find Claude. I go to his room, but find that the door is locked. Claude, Karma, are we training tonight? No answer. My heart sinks. Is he not speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? For days, Claude stayed in his room, only leaving when he had to be on patrol. A few times I saw Parfait go into his room, but she refuses to talk about what is bothering him. I feel so useless. When Claude did appear in the tavern or out in the town, he still had that terrible grimace on his face. Look, I really don't want to talk right now. If you're so frustrated with me, why not just ignore me? No, I'm not going to train tonight. I'm not in the right state of mind. I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me alone. Please. I'm really beginning to worry about him. Today I'm in town, running errands with Waltz for Parfait. It's been almost a week since Claude started acting so strangely, so I thought I needed to do something for him. I know he likes dresses, and he told me once that he likes roses, but can I really find something that would cheer him up? Perhaps he would like some jewelry. Waltz, do you remember where that jewelry store Karma is? I don't go there very often, so unfortunately no. Princess, is this a good deed? What you're doing right now, do you think it would be a good deed? Good deeds need to be selfless, right? Generally, yes. I just doubt this would count as selfless. I'm doing this to cheer up Karma. That sounds pretty selfless. But it's also said he goes back to teaching me how to fight instead of sulking in his room. I've heard that Karma has been teaching you how to use a sword. Why do you want to learn how to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself. It's not like I can use magic. At least a sword fighting gives me an advantage. I'm sorry, Princess. I wish I could teach you magic, but it doesn't work when you're under a curse. But on your 18th birthday, when you become the bearer, you'll be able to use magic. I'll instruct you if you want me to. That would be nice. Though that does not solve my current problem. What would cheer Claude up? Walt starts chuckling beside me, and I turn to look at him confused. Karma is important to you, isn't he? He's my partner, and he's helped me. Also has been patient with me and smiled even when I've said something really inconsiderate things to him. I'm glad, Princess, that he's your friend. My friend. Claude does not feel like a friend. It feels like something else. Oh, Princess, is this the one you were searching for? Waltz points to a peddler sporting different kinds of jewelry, and I instantly make my way toward it. There are all kinds of glittering things displayed. For a few moments I feel myself drawn to everything. Then I notice the price tags. I barely have any money left from when the king gave me that pouch. I cannot afford any of this. Maybe we should do our errands first, then look for a gift. Maybe we'll find something as we look through the stores. If I don't get Claude's gift today, I might not be able to give it to him tonight. Just run the errands first. Wallace has a good point. We might find something while we do the errands, and then we can get something and get them out of the way. Besides, it's not right for me to put Claude above everyone else. We spend a few hours gathering the supplies needed for the tavern, and only then do we start looking again for Claude's gift. Princess, I can hold more of those bags for you. It's fine, I'm used to carrying lots of bags. Does Karma make you carry them around? Princess, you should really tell him off. He does a lot of other things for me, but next time I think I will. So long as he gets out of his room sometime soon, I really hope he does. Hey, Princess. And now the problem is finding something that he'll like. What does Claude like? Princess! There's no reason for you to shout. Walt shakes his head at me, but he's smiling. Let me offer you a deal. A deal. If you help me set up one of my puppet shows, I'll pay you. You earn money from your puppet shows? I get tipped, so what do you say? I won't go easy on you, though. Yes, I'll help you. Why do you seem so surprised? I was just thinking that everyone's right. You've really changed, Princess. Maybe having Karma as a partner really was a good idea. Being partners with Claude may have changed him changed me for the better, but I doubt I've done the same for him. I'm sure Karma would be very happy that you were buying him a gift. Receiving gifts from admirers isn't the same thing as you getting him something. He receives gifts from admirers. For a few moments I think about the woman who chased us in town a few weeks ago. I feel a little unpleasant stab in my heart. Small things. A man will treat him to a dessert every so often. I saw a lot of it when we did errands together. I always make Karma accept those gifts without killing the man. Killing the man? It's dramatic, but sounds like Karma. Punched Rumple when he asked him to marry him. Joke or not, Karma wears his disguise to be convincing, but then he gets angry when people fall for it. He's still very much a child. You know how he is. He doesn't like being flirted with. Waltz, do you know anything about Karma's curse? His curse? He never really talks about it. Claude may be even more stubborn than me if he's not letting anyone help him with his curse. Waltz and I continue our search for a gift. Waltz tells me that I can look for something a bit more expensive, and that he'll just put me to work on another day by helping him with his puppets. I return to the jewelry peddler we found earlier. Hello, Madam Sir. What can I help you with today? Do you have any sort of rose-shaped jewelry here? The man refers me to a box full of many different rose-shaped earrings. He then shows me a necklace, and I realize belatedly that it is as if I'm searching for something for Miss Karma, not Claude. My eyes scan the glass, nearly in defeat. Before a little rose catches my attention in the back of the display. There's a chain connected to it, but it doesn't seem long enough to be a necklace. What is that one? That's our simple rose pendant, madam. It comes with a chain, but it can also be pinned on the chest. The man takes it out of the display case so I can look at it. Pinned to the chest. That'll work. This is fancy, but not completely flashy. I feel a little click as I press my fingers to the pendant, and I realize that it can open. Oh yes, you can also put something small inside of it. This is perfect. I look at the price tag after making sure that it's not too expensive. I pay the shopkeeper. Waltz pays him the additional fee, and then we walk back toward the market together. When we return to the market, I go to my room to tuck the locket into a drawer before I head to the tavern to finish the rest of my chores. Just as I expected, Claude is not downstairs today either. Jerry and Garland have taken to training with each other, though they seem agitated that Claude is not helping them. At the end of the day, I hurry to my room, where I write a few words on a piece of paper that I put into the locket. Normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I hold the locket tightly in my hand and start toward Claude's room. Why is my heart beating so fast? I'm just giving him a gift. I pause at Claude's door, remembering the last time I entered his room. I'm sure it's okay if I just go in. I open the door to Claude's room, which is thankfully not locked, and step inside. Claude is sitting motionless in front of his mirror, shoulders slumped as he stares at his reflection. He's shirtless, and there's that tattoo. It seems different. Tattoo. Claude does not notice me at first. I notice that his hand goes to the tattoo over his chest, and then I hear him heave a heavy sigh. Slowly, I close the door behind me. It clicks, and that is when he suddenly turns to look at me. At first, there is just shock on his face, and then suddenly anger. Again, why do you do this again? I came to give you something. I tightly grip the locket in my hands as I stare at him. This was so important, so very essential that he once again missed knocking on my door for a simple delivery. His voice slices through my heart. I wanted it to be a surprise. I'm not in the mood for surprises, Princess. Oh, he's very pissed. In no time at all, Claude is suddenly right in front of me, his hands outstretched on either side of me, pinning me to the wall against the door. His face is so close, his expression so fierce that I cannot even bring myself to think of a way out. The only thing I can do is stare at him levelly, without getting angry, without crying. I will not show any weakness. Why? Why aren't you struggling or screaming at me? That's what the Ikuma that I know would do. That you do not know me as much as you think you do, and you know nothing about me. I already have a retort prepared when I stop, realizing that he is right. I barely know anything about him. No, I don't, but I'd like to. Why do you insist on poking your nose into others' businesses? We're partners. That's the only reason. It has to be. I'm supposed to help you, so why do you keep secrets from me? Help me? His lips quirk, but his smile is sardonic. Claude, I want to help you. In that silence that descends between us, I find that I cannot help but look at Claude's tattoo, the thorns twirling around the rose. It's beautiful, but it also seems so lethal. When I glance at Claude again, he looks crestfallen, his eyes glittering like he might be on the verge of tears. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak about them, I would, but I can't. And bursting into my room without any notice only makes it harder. Harder for what? Princess, you can't imagine what this all feels like. What is he talking about? That woman I thought we were meant to be. She was so lovely, her smile as bright as the sun. Claude's eyes are far away. That's why, never again. But then you ruined everything, Ikuma. You cut me down like... I push my hands against Claude's chest, catching him off guard and force him to stumble back. I cannot take any of this. If I've ruined everything, then I'll just leave. You know, have all the time in the world to yourself then. The locket I bought for him burns into my hands. And I end up throwing it at his feet. Kuma, wait. I ignore him as I run from the room. When I return to my room and lock my door, I feel too hollow inside for tears. It hurts to breathe when I think of Claude. I eventually manage to fall asleep, only have snatches of restless dreams when my eyes finally close. Mother, are you and Father in true love, like the fairy tales? I thought I forbid you to speak of fairy tales. Have you been reading them? No, Mother. I overheard someone in the palace talking about them today. Then I shall have to find that person to make sure they know what an appropriate topic of a conversation in the palace is. But Mother, true love and fairy tales sound so nice. Do you think I can fall in true love with a prince? Dearest one, true love like that does not exist. But the love between a mother and her child is the truest kind. It cannot be replicated by anything else. All other kinds of love is an illusion. My love is all you will ever need. Do you understand me, my heart? Yes, Mother. Chapter 8, The Lost Prince. Hey, heck. Oh, look. Somebody drink. Keep your stance straight, Princess. Jurian gives me the warning, but too late on purpose. I can see the smile on her face as she effortlessly slides past my defenses, taps me on the shoulder with her wooden sword. I got you. Again. For the last few days I've been practicing with Jurian and Garland because Claude still hasn't come out of his room. The knights offered to train me, and right now they are teaching me about ways to hold a sword. This is slow, but Claude did tell me I wouldn't be able to master the sword so quickly. Claude. He made me so angry that one day that I could not even properly give him a gift. But I still feel sad that he's not here teaching me himself. Come on, Princess, focus. I jolt on my rapier and nod at Jurian. Okay. I ready myself for a next strike and once again get tapped, this time on the hip. Garland takes over after Jurian and then we do rounds where I try to hit them with certain strikes. They were both good at teaching, but it does not feel the same as Claude's instruction. His lessons seem less like they were out of the book. Don't worry, Princess. It always starts out slow. Lon was just as slow at training, but look at him now. Garland whips his head around in Jurian's direction, his face turning deep red. Jurian, that nickname, but you're so much fun to tease, Lon. She beams at him and then laughs at his embarrassed face. Our practice goes on for a few more minutes before the knights tell me to wrap up for the night. I think I'm going to stay out here for a little bit. Princess, you know it's dangerous out here at night. If I don't return in 10 minutes, you can come back and check on me. Jurian seems unconvinced, but she eventually nods. Fine, but keep your guard up, Princess. I watch the two knights as they head back. I see Garland put his arm around Jurian's waist, pulling her closer. I turn away from the sight, ignoring the heavy feeling in my stomach. I'll just practice the swings for 5 more minutes. The only thing I can hear in the clearing while I practice is my shallow breath and the wind in my ears. Something breaks my concentration, however. I see a glimmer of color in the forest, and I instantly stop, my hands growing tense on the wooden sword. What was that? I glance around at my surroundings, and then I freeze when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I can feel someone's breath on my neck. This all feels familiar. Is this Claude? Possibly the way the story's gonna go, but if he taught me anything, I'm gonna turn and point my sword at him. I'm pretty sure I recognize Claude's hand, but because I know it's him, I also know what he wants me to do. I duck away from his hand and turn quickly to point my sword. The tip of the wood is at his neck, and for a few stunned moments, I think I've won. Even Claude looks surprised. It's really him. But then Claude's hands have moved, and he has one hand over my wrist and the other on my sword. Good, Akuma. You realized you had an opening, but you broke your concentration. Claude. Claude removes his hands, allowing me to lower my sword. I'm sorry, Akuma. I feel my breath catch in my throat when Claude holds out the rose pendant that I got for him. I feel my cheeks flush. It's a little pendant. You accidentally left this beautiful thing in my room when I came to return it. Return it? Yes, you left it in my room, so I only thought it appropriate to bring it back to you. Does he really think I left it there on accident? Why would I leave it in your room on accident? What? I bought it for you and I wanted to give it to you, but you were acting so strangely and... Claude's eyes widen, the surprise clear on his face. Akuma, you bought this for me? Why does he look so shocked? Claude looks at me in awe for a few moments. His eyes go back down to the locket. He traces a finger around the intricate shape, his eyebrows slowly furrowing. It's to thank you for everything you've done for me. Akuma, this is beautiful. He lets the chain fall through his fingers as he stares at the rose pendant with adoration. I feel my heartbeat stutter as he turns to regard me with the same gentle smile. Why is he close? Stop! He leans forward and my breathing stops as he reaches out to hold up my glass slipper necklace. He's standing so close to me. You really are a good person, Kuma. You've completed your second good deed. I think some kind of congratulations is in order. Is there anything you want that I can give to you? I look at him and notice that Claude's smile doesn't reach his eyes. He still looks so sad. I feel like there's so much that I want from Claude, but I do not want to ask for something that might make him sad. I want him to smile. Claude looks at me, his expression puzzled. He chuckles softly. But I am smiling. No, I want a real smile, one that isn't so sad. He saw right through me. We've been partners for long enough. How about this one? He smiles a little awkwardly, and the quirk of his lips looks more embarrassed than bright. I raise an eyebrow in confusion. No need for that look, darling. I really do appreciate your worry for me. What the fuck just happened? Whoa. Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts his hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Oh, shit. The fuck is happening? Claude has a pained expression on his face, only making me more anxious. Not now. Claude, are you okay? What's wrong? Akuma, don't worry about it. He lowers his hand with a faint smile slowly fading from his face. This does little to reassure me. Was it my fault you were locked in your room for so long? You just look so pained to be anywhere near me. No, most definitely not. I was feeling under the weather. And also bitter. Bitter? Why would he feel bitter? It's not for you to worry about, darling. For now, we should head back. It's late and you need rest. I just got back from a patrol, so I would like to rest as well. Is there anything else I can do for you? No, sweet Akuma. You've already done enough for me. He clutches the rose locket to his chest and sighs out a little with a gentle smile. The smile feels real to me. This is a beautiful gift, and I will treasure it always. Thank you, Akuma. Now shall we head back? I nodded at him, and we silently walked back to the market. When we make it back to the tavern, I feel tired, but also lighter than I have for weeks. Claude wishes me a good night before slowly walking off to his room, holding the locket I gave him tightly. Today I'm walking around town to do some errands with Claude. It's been quite a while since we have done this. Though we are here to run errands, there's also something else that drove me into town today. Yesterday, Waltz came back to the market and told us of an announcement the king was making today. Apparently that announcement had been posted for at least a week's time, but Waltz had only caught onto it after hearing about it from the crowds after one of his puppet shows. I'm not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel that I need to see the king make it with my own eyes. I see more people milling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this. It's not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden. With everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge. Wow, Akuma, you made these bags sound a lot lighter than they actually be. Stop complaining, Miss Karma. You get valuable experience out of carrying bags. Seeing Claude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load. I feel like a servant. What does that make me when you made me carry all those bags before? An assistant? I roll my eyes at him. We're both working at the market, you know. And then the thought strikes me. What do you even do at the market? Claude looks surprised at my question, but then he quickly smiles at me. I train the knights, of course. I also attract customers with my beautiful reputation. I start laughing and Claude's face flushes. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me. I wonder. We finish up the rest of our errands and then sit down in the town plaza to rest. Claude leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for both of us to share as a snack. I have a lot of things I want to ask him, and now feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question? Of course, darling, anything. Do you enjoy dressing like a woman? I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses. I guess if you had to wear a dress for as long as you'd get used to it. I have another question, and what would that be? When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about the witch who cursed you? Oh no, the woman I was talking about. He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. His expression fades into something more melancholy, and I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. To my surprise, Claude continues talking. Shortly after I came to Angel, there was a woman that I met whose smile was as radiant as the sun, as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt bright about the world. Hearing him talk about her makes me uncomfortable. Am I jealous? Claude watches me quietly, as if he's measuring my expression. Eventually, he goes back to speaking. I knew her for many months. Time passed. I thought we were truly in love, and then I... He goes silent for a few moments, his eyes distant, his expression pain. Well, some things happened, and I realized she only loved me because of my curse. She's drawn to me, just as any other woman is. She seemed so genuine in comparison to the other women, but in the end... Claude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You were truly in love with her. I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who has honestly loved me back. So then the last person he loved was that woman. Claude looks at me, and for a few moments, he doesn't speak. Akuma, do you mind if I ask you a question? No, I don't mind. Have you ever loved anyone? My mother, of course. I was referring to a romantic kind of love. Romantic kind of love? What does that kind of love feel like? Allow me to enlighten you. He smiles at me, and it's surprisingly genuine. You feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters, and you worry about small things, about offending this other person in some way. I wonder if they'll like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all the things that they do. Their presence makes you feel complete in a way you had never thought of before. You try to imagine life without that person, and find that you cannot. To even consider such a thing is painful, so much so that it feels like it might break your heart. Claude continues talking about but my mind is already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that still feels unnecessarily dramatic. I feel tinge of familiarity. The things he's describing. Those are the things I feel when I'm with him. Before I can say anything, we hear the sound of hooves and both of us turn. I can see a procession of knights along with the king on his horse. He normally rides in town like this, but today he's not smiling, and there are way too many knights riding with him. Is that Sir Alcaster? Let's go find a place to stand and watch. As you wish. Claude walks with me into the crowd gathering around the king, and we find a spot to spectate at the very edge, closer to the alleyways. My beloved citizens of NGL, I've come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I've sworn to live my life for the people and to rule in all fairness, so that our kingdom could enjoy great peace. The crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach, when I notice there is sadness in his eyes, though he is smiling. Then I notice Sir Alcaster appears to be hiding a smile. I do not like where this is going. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, goals he set, and finally his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Claude and I are silent. Something is not right. I nod in response. To this day, I keep this promise. I would never break this oath, for it is the foundation on which I rule. The audience claps again, but I am silent, watching the king intently. Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill. The king's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience. I cannot hear anything that is being said over the cacophony of voices, but I know that the audience is dissenting. I stiffen as I stare at the king. He is lying. I can tell by the firm set of his jaw and the way his eyes flicker across the crowd faster than they ought to. The king has lied to me so many times before that I can recognize when he does it. I know that this is unfortunate news must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no current cure. As for the question of my successor, he trails off for a few moments, and I think I see something in his eye that hints at urgency, but I'm not sure why. Crown Princess Emmeline is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own. I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie. Emmeline could rule just fine with the help of Sir Mithras and the others. After much thought, I've come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from the witches, is best put in the capable hands of the commander of the Order of Caldria, Sir Alcaster. What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly. Their sudden outburst a testament to their confusion. While I will be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot in all good grace continue to wear this crown when I know I cannot serve my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in the recent months, and that Sir Alcaster is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The fairy tale curse runs more rampant these days, and there have been more reports of incidents involving magic. The murmuring continues, except now the townsfolk sound panic. This cannot be true. I do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words. Sir Alcaster has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially concerning our security and work hours. I believe that Sir Alcaster can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you have shown me. That bastard. Claude has a foul expression on his face, and his words feel heavy even in a low whisper. I know the king. He takes every duty upon himself, and he would never hand his crown to someone else. When Sir Alcaster comes to stand on the podium, he silences them with a glare. Citizens of NGL, I swear to you that I will serve you as well as Genera has. That being said, I also believe some changes will need to be made. Sir Alcaster continues to speak. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go toward the knights, but I'm slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What is going on? Sir, no. Alcaster must have done something to force the king into this charade. The king stands behind Alcaster with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there is a helplessness to them that I've never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated with whispering. I'm stunned when Claude cups his hand to his mouth and starts shouting. There's only one king, King Gennaro. Claude grips my hand and starts leading me around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues to shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcaster are standing. There's only one king, King Gennaro. There is only one king, King Gennaro. Let's go, Akuma. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chanting carries on. Claude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the Marchen Tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene that they saw in town today. Every visitor here is talking about what they witnessed. I've been in the corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm all this chaos. Hey, Princess, how are you feeling? I almost jump when I hear Rumple's voice. Surprised, I can feel when a damsel is in distress, milady. I'm not really in the mood for your flirting, Rumple. Oh, my apologies. I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Karma doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. I feel myself blush. What is Rumple going on about? Princess, you're pink. I am not. My mind feels all scrambled now. This is all Rumple's fault. Thankfully, before Rumple can continue talking, the door opens, and Delora walks inside to call all the Marchen boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I am surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait. Emmeline and Rod. Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. The prince and the princess. Where did they come from? What is happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? We need silence in the room, everyone. Delora raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to look at Rod and Emmeline. Princess Emmeline, if you could tell everyone what you told Delora and I. The room is unnaturally quiet as Emmeline begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of family dinner, Alcaster burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod, and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcaster said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. He had no idea a coup would be staged. 3 of them were taken down to the prison cells, with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, but only just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope that he's safe. Alcaster wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to. The king has already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Ron and Emmeline. Alcaster is a foul man. I only think he usurped the throne now without the violence because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to my father before. Did you just say father? It is a long story, Em. Emmeline looks between Ron and I, her expression confused. You know each other. We do. Emmeline looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother is still inside the palace. We need to save her somehow. And Sir Fitzgerald, what happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here. Right now we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can. Then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcaster was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Jurian, what did you know about this? Garland and I weren't stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcaster's orders. It was because we overheard Alcaster plotting something and tried to tell the king of his plot. We gave him a warning, but the king did not believe us, not with Alcaster and Mithros whispering in his ears. The king didn't think Alcaster was possible of such a betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against Alcaster for our own gain. And so, Alcaster stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So Alcaster has been planning to do this all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Delora take Ron and Emmeline to a room that they can share. It's been decided that they will be harbored here at Marchen, a place that Emmeline apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Well, Rod did say that his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Emmeline look at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything. The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone's busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I'm sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day with my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information, I haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I'm finally on my break, so I decide to go to the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Emmeline sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she has been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her so as not to cause a ruckus in the market. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Akuma, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I'm shocked by Emmeline's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. Emmeline was always trying to take me out and do things with me back when I was still in the palace. I distracted myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think that maybe he does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you or Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now we can turn over a new leaf. Emmeline is as stubborn as always. I have more things to worry about than being her friend. I have to go. I walk off before the conversation can continue. If I hadn't been cursed and remained in the palace, would Sir Alcaster have taken me hostage too? The hours tick by, and as the tavern is emptied for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. Alright everyone, we've come upon some new information. First is that Alcaster has cracked down on the riots in town. Everyone seen protesting, and his rule is thrown in prison. The king always valued the people's opinions. Alcaster does not want opinions, he only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around the town. They've been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever ways they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are most turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it's unlikely he will stay that way for very long. One thing is clear, given Alcaster's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he will rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us then. We just so happen to have people in the tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Hold on, here's a sneeze. Jesus. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage. Oh, big yawn. Oh my god, everything's piling on now. I've been holding it in for a while. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway. Only the king and the commander of the knights have the key to that passage. So how did they get a copy? Who's going to join us on this mission? Jurian and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Waltz. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Claude, who's staring at me shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about. Princess, you don't have nearly enough practice, but I can help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try out your newfound sword skills. Then you may as well chain me up because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess. Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Jurian. But it's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right, the princess is quite stubborn. Claude agrees with Jurian, but I can tell that he does not like the idea of me going along with them. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Brigantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Karma is the crown prince of Brigantia. There's some shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumpel, Anise, Rod, and Emmeline all look shocked by this revelation. You're the lost prince. Lost prince. Sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it? Anise suddenly looks distressed as she fiddles with her thumbs. All this time and I never knew. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. There is no need for formalities, Anise. But I'm the lost prince after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince. Couldn't you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet. I cannot go back while he's still cursed. The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually, we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace when the details are finalized. I repeat everything myself to make certain that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace, then, and Jurian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, Princess. And Karma will be watching from the back, along with Delora. A witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles wryly. Claude rolls his shoulders. I'd like to think of us as more the closing act. Though, if all goes according to plan, we will have no need for either the opening or closing act. It's a small task force, which is better. The smaller the better. The last thing we want is to be noticed. We decide to meet again over the course of the next week to finalize our plan, and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken to training me, Jurian, and Garland at the same time. Just the other day, he had all of us attack him together. Even though I'm nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today we finalized our plans for getting into the palace. We have mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. I sit down on my bed, and I'm about to lay down when I hear something. Oh, Claude. Hello, Glove. Oh, blushies. My, you're red. Were you thinking about me? I noticed that he has one hand at his chest tonight, but then he has been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling, I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have been knocked. You could have knocked. You could have been knocked. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go back to that real quick. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Okay. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. That's different. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue? Claude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in to disturb you. I just have something important I need to say to you. Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. He looks like a kicked puppy. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfait and Delora have said many times, it will be dangerous. Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you? If your stubbornness leads you to putting your neck out there for someone, I'd never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here where you'll be safe. I'm not some damsel that needs to be protected. Kuma, all I want is for you to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I want to be able to face my father unless... I won't be able to face my father unless I am one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh irritation welling up in my stomach at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You said I've improved with my sword fighting. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Ho ho! Your compliment is gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Akuma. My eyes fixate on his soft smile and at the gentle crinkles at his eyes. Our eyes lock. In a few moments I'm aware of a slight energy between us. I glanced away hurriedly, not entirely sure what would happen. I kept staring at him. My heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Earlier today, I comforted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened at the palace. And Elaine, why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today, without anyone there. She's a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking that the two of you are completely different. You're both You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve while you keep it all inside of you. I'm not hiding anything, if that's what you're implying. Mother always told me crying was weak. Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms. Hey, whoa! Kuma, I'm always here for you. I feel flustered again and my mind feels foggy. I can barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart. Why would I be apologizing? Why am I apologizing? Why am I apologizing, though? Okay, I'll just say thank you. You never need to thank me. But you've done so much for me. It's not just the sword fighting, it's your patience, your company, your saving me when I needed help. That's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself. Every time I see this, it gets darker. I never thought you were selfish, Claude. He puts a hand to my cheek and looks at me solemnly. You don't think that me want to use... Oh! Suddenly he steps back, his hand on his chest again, his breathing heavy. I stare at Claude with wide eyes. Claude, are you okay? I'm fine. He sighs out slowly, but he sounds obviously pained. I'll go get Anise. No. I'm fine. I swear it's just a spell of dizziness, but you. He manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaking. I must be tired. But Claude, do not tell anyone about this, okay? I don't want them to worry. Why is he always so stubborn? He's obviously in pain. I clench my hands into fists as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? You're keeping something from me, Claude. I'm sorry, Akuma. Claude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts. And there's that end. Oh, much save, much wow. Did I end it? Nope. Okay, well, other than that, we're gonna end that right there. It's chapter 9. And it's almost at the hour mark. So, much drama, much wow. Oh my gosh, will this ever stop recording on command?